Well, here is my garden, around about 12 months after it was officially finished. We've gone through our second winter, and it's just the beginning of spring by the weather, not the calendar. And you can see several things have happened. It's continued to self-sow and regenerate new plants, or generate new plants. Plus there's been a few additions. One is this red currant bush, which I've recently planted. And it's got lovely leaves. It's an understory plant, so it won't mind being shaded a bit by the trees as they grow. Here's something that sowed itself. It's really quite tall, and I didn't know what it was for a long time. And then I used one of the plant identifying apps, and apparently it's a form of tobacco. And I certainly didn't plant it on purpose, but it's quite attractive really, isn't it? Those little tubular flowers. The stem is a bit messy. The leaves are remarkably sticky. When you touch them, they don't look like it, but they are to touch. So that's really interesting. I don't know how much the insects like it, but it looks like an insect attracting flower. So it'll be interesting to see. The oxalis has got everywhere, of course, and I've allowed it to grow during the off season because it covers the ground and smothers the grass. And the bees really like it. All those pretty yellow flowers. So I don't mind too much. And then I pull it out if it's getting a bit too much, or if I want to put something else in. The sweet alyssum has come back up. That, of course, is self-sowing. Very nice, lovely scent. And again, bees love it. The violets are sprawling. They're quite amazing, really. I always thought of them as more of a forest plant. But apparently, they quite like it here. Lots and lots of pretty purple flowers. The crabapple is blooming, or about to bloom. It's got all its little buds. I might have to cut a couple of branches there because they're going to cross each other, that one there. But it's looking very healthy. It survived its first year in the ground beautifully. I'm very pleased with it. The flowers were glorious last year and the fruit lasted a long, long time. Never did get as far as making crabapple jelly, but maybe this year. I certainly thought about it, just didn't do it. Borage, again, everywhere. But again, something I can happily pull up if it's in the way. Which I did because it was encroaching on a few things. On the perpetual spinach, for instance, which is looking very well at the moment. I've got different kinds of mint. Some of them I don't remember what they are, frankly. We do have catnip and stuff like that, but our cats don't seem to like it much. Here are some marigolds that came up. Always cheerful to have in the garden, and they again spread easily. I didn't plant them on purpose. I did put in a sachet of insect attracting flowers, and that might have been among it. Here is a Chilean guava. I've got two. They're supposed to be good for hedging, and I'll put them beside the fence. See how well they do. More of the borage coming up. In here, somewhere, there's a piece of something I put in, but it seems to have died off. Oh well, maybe it'll come back. Tia's strawberries and cream lavender is doing brilliant. Both coloured flowers on one bush, aren't they lovely? Again, the bees love it, but they always like lavender, so not very surprising that. We've got more roses, more borage, which will have to come out. There's just too much of it. And here is the globe artichoke I planted last year. It had a beautiful flower, which I just let go to seed. And here is its second year of growth. This year, it will probably have a lot more buds, and I hope to pick some to use. And then we can talk about that. This rose bush is regrowing beautifully. I gave it a bit of a cut back. May have to go further with it. A Kalanchoe peeking out. More of the oxalis, of course. Here is a red variegated sorrel, which is supposed to be good in salads and things. I haven't actually tried it, but it's just very attractive with those red veined leaves. And it's a biennial, or a perennial anyway. Very nice looking plant. This is the big rosemary, which again I cut back. Lots of new growth, lots of flowers, and the bees love it. Anything that bees like is a good thing, in my eyes. Here's some chamomile growing, beautiful spreading thing. Seaside daisy. The thyme and the oregano are a bit overcome by the oxalis, so I'll have to get some of that out there. This is a lovely green arum lily that came up unexpectedly. Beautiful thing, and the flowers last ages. Now that one's had it, but this one's coming in. Oh, look at this pretty butterfly. I don't know what that sort is with the purpley tips. It's very nice. I planted an olive tree. This is a dwarfing olive on purpose because it's below the power lines. And it's got some budding on it, so that's only been in a few months. There's some dandelion which I allowed to grow and go to seed because they mine the minerals from deep in the soil. Big bush of flat parsley. It well and truly had seed heads and things, and then look at the patch, it's beautiful. More of it was more seed heads. And here is the second rosemary, which is a prostrate variety. And again, it's rather overcome by the oxalis, so that's getting a good weed today. Now my daisy bush is lovely. It started off as a little slip. And look at it now, it's glorious. And I've kept putting off cutting it back because it was full of flowers. But the flowers now are dying back, so it's going to have a good haircut, which will, of course, bring about another lovely wash of flowers. Another rose bush. That is a snapdragon I planted because the colour's glorious. One of my favourite colours. There's a couple of those in the garden. Here's another one. Not everything has done well. I planted some brassicas not that long ago, and they've just disappeared, whereas the ones out the back have done extremely well, which is quite interesting. Sometimes it's position. The pineapple sage continues to flower. It's been cut back a couple of times, and the flowers are a lovely pop of red. This little daisy is looking great. I never can remember which one it is, but never mind, it's very attractive. And in among it is growing this thing, which is considered a weed, but again, it's one I'm allowing. It's pretty. It doesn't seem to overtake as much as some of the other things. And a little pop of colour. Another mint. A bush that's grown itself. The pig face has practically disappeared, but that'll come back as we cut that back. G'day! And here is my new gardener, Blake, who is going to help me with this, because every gardener I've had so far has got other work. So I am replacing them quite quickly as they get jobs. So maybe he'll last a few weeks. Oh, if you get full-time work. So that's my garden today. And the thing we're going to be doing today is weeding this rose bed and hopefully moving the rest of this mulch onto it. It's about time it was cleared. It's been sitting there for a couple of months now. Okay, bye.